and why we should understand or learn SAP, what is the benefits if we know SAP, etc. kind of introduction. So yeah, so the agenda for this introduction is the introduction of trainer and participant. I think this is not required as we have already know each other. And then what is SAP, why we need SAP, methodology of training, training documents, and practical tips and tricks, and then finally question and answers. So the full form for SAP is nothing but it is systems, applications, and products in data processing. So SAP stands for S stands for systems, and A stands for application, P stands for products in data processing. And also the interesting thing to understand here is the product name and as well as the company who developed this software also the one and same. The company name and as well as the product name is one and same. So the company name also SAP AG, which is a German company. So SAP AG means AG is the active globe, like how we have in India limited, or in US it is incorporation, etc. That is similar way in Germany we have AG. That is the reason the company name is SAP AG. So these are the people who found this software, etc. And then the important thing to know here is there are 82,000 topmost enterprises are using this SAP software, and also every day there are 12 million users using this software, and also out of 250 countries, approximately 120 countries are using SAP software, right? So why I am I wanted to give this information is, so if you say it is a topmost or revenues wise it is the largest company in your particular country, or it is a Fortune 500 company, or etc. So most of the, out of 10 Fortune 500 companies, 8 must be using SAP software. That is the importance, or because it is a robust system, and people prefer to use any other software than your SAP system. That means it has a proven track record. So we need not discuss about whether it is a good software or not, or whether it is a capable software or not. This statistics itself indicates whether it is a proven track record. So that is the reason why I have given these details. So then we go to the next one. So if you take the world top 5 software companies, so in general you can see Microsoft, IBM, and Oracle. SAP is the 4th place when you take the total companies, software companies. And if you take only ERP softwares, it is in the first place. It occupies the first place when you compare with the other ERP softwares. So yeah, can you give me 1 minute? I will just come back. And coming to the advantages of using this particular software: efficiency and accuracy, integration of various modules. Like in any business, we have various functions of business, like purchasing, sales, finance, etc. All those modules are tightly integrated so that it avoids the duplication of data. In earlier, before this ERP system, what happened was, like, they independently maintain the records or books or information independently. To club or integrate that information, it took a lot of efforts and lot of waste of manpower, etc. So in this ERP, what happens? Each module, for example, you have finance module, and wherever a transaction happens in material management or in sales module, and it has some financial implication, that automatically updates your financial records or financial reports. That is how it is integrated, and you can get the information very fastly at a cheaper cost, because it is automated and you need not do any manual workaround to integrate this module. It is already predefined, and you have at a faster rate or real time, like as soon as they post the document in SD, that means for example sales order or sales billing document, etc. As soon as they post, that information is readily available in your finance module or financial reporting. So you need not go to that particular person in that sales department or sales team. So the information is readily available within your finance module itself as soon as they post the transaction. That is how the integration is built between the modules. That is one important why SAP is captured the majority of the market share. And the next thing is multiple languages and multiple currencies and multiple countries, because the software is used across the countries, across the globe. Most of the MNCs spread their business across the globe, and the system should support various languages. For example, I have a company which has operations in Saudi Arabia, Japan, Germany, India, anywhere. So the system should support various languages as well as the currencies they use, and also the various system, the country specific settings like taxation and other things will be taken care by SAP. So for example, if I log in into Japanese language, so system will give me or display the information in Japanese language. Or if I log in into German language, the reports, everything will appear or display in that particular language. That is how the system is designed. And also, if you transact with multiple currencies, the system automatically converts into your local currency. So the local currency is the currency where in which currency we need to submit our reports to various external agencies. That is called normally in SAP we call it as the company code currency or local currency or functional currency. So if you transact any currency other than your local currency or functional currency, system automatically converts that into your currency, and you can take the report in your local currency. So for example, your company code currency is USD and you are dealing with a Japanese vendor or customer, and your transaction is in Japanese currency, and that automatically converts into your USD currency, right? That is how it will that functionality is already built in your system. So the next one is, I will go to the next slide where I have given the conceptual areas of SAP. That means the SAP name itself is a concept. So SAP S means systems and A is applications and products. That means the concept, they have taken the name of a concept into as their product name. So application is nothing but, first let us talk about systems. That is S means, so the system requirements like hardware, software requirements, etc. So which will be dealt by this S, the systems. So this is not in order as first. This is S indicates, that is handled by basis team. Oh, is it? one second, then I will call you once again. If you have the same now is it same or it is okay now? Then what? So S is the system which is dealing with your system requirements like hardware, software requirements, and authorizations. To what are the authorizations required for each individual based on their role and responsibility. So all these things will be dealt by. There is a team called basis team in your company or in your project. So that is your S. So as I am a financial consultant or FI consultant, I can do, I will be provided with only the area related to my work or my responsibility. I cannot go and modify or change whatever I like in the other areas. That is how the authorization is restricted in SAP. So next thing is the application. Application is nothing but, as we discussed, these are the functions of business, like whatever functions we have in business, like finance, HR, sales, purchases. All these are called functions or applications of the business. So this will be also called as function modules or functional module. So that is your S and A, and then it comes to product. So product is nothing but it is the logic or code behind your screen of the software. So this language or code is written in a language or programming language called ABAP. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application and Programming. It is a fourth generation language. That is the reason you can see it is mentioned as ABAP/4. So the code or logic in the system is written in this particular language. That is how the concept has become your product name, that they have chosen this concept. That is the reason they have given the name of the software as SAP. Is it okay? Yeah. So the next thing is system landscape. Normally we have in the system landscape, when we implement a SAP software in any client place or for a particular company, or even if we work on a support project, there will be minimum 3 systems or clients in SAP. So because whatever we make the change or configuration settings, we do it in the development system, and then it will be moved to the quality system where we perform certain testings, like whether whatever we have done or whatever we have changed in the configuration, whether that is working properly or not, that will be tested under quality system, and then it will be moved to the production system. The production system is one where the users will be using for their day-to-day transactions, like invoice posting, payments, or fixed asset postings, or taking the reports. These kind of things for their day-to-day life, they use a system called production system. And we normally don't have authorization to enter into this area as a consultant. So our area is here in development system. We make whatever the changes or whatever the settings we want, we can do it in the development system. And these changes, whatever we do, it will be tracked with a number called transport request number. And based on the transport request, we can move the changes to the quality system. And from there onwards, once it is tested and the test results are satisfactory, then it will go to the next system called production system. The advantage here is, or the purpose here is, we cannot do any change as we wish in the production system, because it will hamper the business if something goes wrong. Right? So that is the reason any change should be done in the development system. That should be thoroughly tested, and once that is working as expected, then only it will be moved to the production system. If we do directly in the production system, if something goes wrong, your total business will be hampered, or it will come to a standstill. So it will stop all the business transactions. That is why SAP has come up with this landscape. Normally other softwares also follow the same thing. SAP also has at least 3 systems. In addition to this, in some companies they may have some training system separately and master data system separately. There may be additional system, but these 3 are important, and it is must. There must be 3 systems or 3 clients at least. So in addition to this, there may be some other clients also in some based on the requirement. We are going to see how to create when we change the configuration or we create the company code, all the settings, system prompt for a transport request, how to see those transport requests, how to move the transport from or changes from development system to quality system. These things we are going to see once we open the SAP system. So integration of business functions. This is the strength of SAP software. Before or prior to ERP system, isolated or islands kind of functions in your business where there is no connection or integration between these islands. So SAP what it does is, so they developed a very sound robust integration between various modules. That is the strength of SAP. So whenever something happens or some transaction is posted in various modules like sales, you can see sales is integrated with, that is called AR module. So sales module is integrated with our AR module in finance. So that is internally integrated with general ledger. So general ledger is the main one where all the transactions will be updated. So this AR or AP, which is nothing but your accounts receivable, accounts payable, are called as submodules to the general ledger. So this sales module is integrated with accounts receivable in finance, and in turn it is a submodule to general ledger. So it is integrated with each and every module is integrated with general ledger finally, where the balances will be posted. Similarly, you have vendors. If we purchase something that is coordinated by the purchasing team, that is also integrated with our general ledger. And similarly, if production planning, shop floor, inventory, these are integrated with financial accounting or general ledger. Wherever there is a financial implication, that will be created, that will create a document in financial accounting. If there is no impact on finance, so it will not create any document. For example, you take purchase order. Just to create the purchase order in MM module, that is materials management or purchase module. So finance creating the purchase document or purchase order itself will not create any financial implication or financial transaction. So it just a understanding or agreement between our company and vendors. So it doesn't have any financial impact. So it is cash is not coming to the organization, or cash is not going out, or we are not getting any goods in. So nothing is happened. It is a contract or agreement between our company and vendors. So it will not create any document or any transaction in our financial accounting. That is a classic example where you don't have any effect on finance. Or next step, for example, you receive goods from vendor, or you make payment to vendor, or you receive invoice from vendor. These documents will have implication on financial accounting. That will automatically create a financial accounting document. So these are the various modules in our SAP system. For example, SP stands for Sales and Distribution, MM Material Management, PP Production Planning, FI Financial Accounting, CO Controlling, AM is Asset Management, and these are the various modules. So primarily we are interested in this financial accounting area, and also we see basically how we are going to integrate with SD and MM module, and also we are going to discuss one cycle of purchasing and sales and distribution to create a sales order, to create a purchase order, and we how to receive the goods. We are not going to discuss in depth these other modules, but we'll see, we'll understand how it is integrated with our financial accounting, and we'll see how to create a purchase order, how to receive goods from vendor, and how to post a invoice in MM module. That we can do. And also one more thing is, even there is no MM module or SD module also, those transactions you can perform in FI itself. So only thing is, if you have MM SD, there will be additional functionalities available in this module. Or this FI itself, you can post a financial purchase invoice or things you can do in FI itself. And also you can post sales revenues and customer payments, you can post in FI itself. But when you have this MM and SD module, there will be a lot of controls and a lot of functionalities available where in a detailed way, like inventory and other things will be taken care. In financial accounting, that inventory and other things will not be taken care of. Only we post one document for vendor invoice and we make the payment to vendor, and we can post a sales revenue document, and we can receive money from customer. That kind of transactions we can do in FI itself, even though there is no MMSD module. So depends on their requirement, they implement what are the modules they need for their business. For example, it is not a manufacturing organization, they don't need the production planning module, right? So the minimum basic modules implemented in any company is FI, MM, FI, SD, MM. These three modules you can find in any company. Other modules are, based on their requirement, they implement or they don't implement. Fine, Vani? Yeah. Yes, I am going to explain you in the further slide. After discussing that, if you are still have that question, we can discuss. So this is also another example for integration. So this boy is throwing a stone, which creates ripples in the other modules. This is just example, whatever we discussed. It is, for example, it is a material issue. It will create, documents in the other modules wherever it is having impact. So this is your question actually. So the difference between FI and CO we need to understand, and why we need these two modules for under FI CO. So FI stands for external reporting or external accounting, and CO stands for internal accounting. That means you can see this diagram. So within this blue color, this is CO module or internal accounting. So the information generated or reports available within CO is purely for your internal management reporting purpose. It is also called management accounting or cost accounting. These are the different names for your CO or controlling module. Of this blue color is your external accounting. So external accounting is the reports or the books maintained or reports generated or drafted for submitting these reports to the external agencies like your insurance authorities, stakeholders or stockholders, journalist, bank, legal authorities. If it is a stock exchange listed in the stock exchange, you need to submit those reports to your stock exchanges or the regulatory authorities, whatever it is. And also here what happens is it should be prepared as per the rules and regulations given by those authorities. We don't have any choice or any flexibility. So whatever the rules or regulations provided by those agencies or external regulatory authorities, we need to follow those rules. For example, the accounting standards, there is no option for us whether to use or follow that accounting standard or not, right? So we must follow those rules, and we have to prepare these financial statements and submit these agencies. That is why we call FI, which is financial accounting, as external reporting or external accounting. CO is controlling or cost accounting or management accounting, which is purely for your internal organization. You need not submit these reports generated for any external authorities. It is purely optional, and also it is purely internal. So the next thing is standard versus flexibility. Your external accounting is governed by or should be followed whatever the standards available or whatever the rules formats given by these authorities. So internal is flexible, and whatever way your management likes to see the reports, you can design the reporting based on your management requirements. So is that answers your question, Emani? So this is the difference between your FI and CO. So next one is the submodules within your financial accounting and controlling, or there are other modules or submodules we can say, or functions within your financial accounting is general ledger, where you have the list of GL accounts created, and also which are not falling under your receivables, payables or expenses, etc. will be tracked under your general ledger. And account receivable is nothing but your dealing with your customers and sales incomes, and accounts payable is dealing with your vendors and your purchases, right? And fixed assets are your fixed assets of the company, how to record the procurement of your fixed assets and calculation of depreciations and various records maintained for your fixed assets. All these things will be discussed under fixed asset module. And controlling module, there are submodules like cost center accounting, internal orders. So these two things are called as overhead modules or overhead controlling modules, where you are going to analyze the cost. So why we have to analyze our cost is to reduce, how to reduce or how to effectively use your money. That is the only purpose of this overhead analysis. And profit center accounting is also called as responsibility accounting, where a particular branch or particular unit, there will be a person responsible for that profitability of that particular unit or branch, etc. So that is the reason why it is called as a responsibility accounting. So based on this particular performance, it will record what are the sales in that unit and what are the expenses incurred in that unit and what is the profitability, and based on that, that particular responsible person's capability or performance will be measured. That is the why we need this profit center. And product costing. So basically, if it is a manufacturing company, we need to understand what is the cost incurred to produce a particular product or one unit of product we want to understand, right? So that what happens, we need to understand what is the cost incurred. Otherwise, I don't know how to fix the price for that sales price. So if it is, cost of the product is 10 rupees or $10, if you are fixing a sales price of 5 rupees or 8 rupees because of lack of information, completely creates a lot of problems. So basically we need to understand how to calculate the price incurred for manufacturing a particular unit of product. So that is, this module helps to calculate that information. And profitability analysis is also to calculate the profit, and the difference between these two modules, profit center accounting and profitability analysis, is profit center accounting is for your internal organization, like your branch, plant, or any business area, that kind of things you can use profit center accounting. And profitability analysis is analyzing the profitability based on your external agencies. Like for a particular region, you have the business across the globe. In Asia Pac, what is the profitability, and in North America, what is the profitability, or in European market, what is your profitability, or New Zealand, Australia, what is your profitability. That kind of external market segments you want to do the analysis, you can use profitability analysis. It is a very interesting module and also very important module to understand. So these are the various sub-modules within your financial accounting and controlling. So when coming to, we are going to see how to integrate between your FI and CO, and also FI MM integration and FI SD. So we are going to see all these areas in our coming classes. So FI MM also, some people call, some business organization, they call this total process right from the procurement to payment to your vendor, that is called procure to pay, or P2P some people call. And some, it is what this sales process, some companies they call order to cash, that is right from the sales order and realizing the cash from your customer is called as order to cash, or OTC some people say in simple, in shortcut. So this we are going to discuss. So the next thing is to understand any module in SAP. So we divide these settings or whatever we do in SAP into organizational units and configuration. So organizational unit is nothing but you have to create the organizational structure, right? So you will have the company and its business operations like branches or plants, all those things we call it as organizational. It is nothing but you are going to create GL account and vendor masters, customer masters, cost center masters, profit center masters. These are all called master data. So this is organizational structure is in permanent nature. Like once you create, there won't be any change unless that unit is sold out to others, etc. Normally it is in permanent nature, and master data is semi-permanent. Once you create a master data for a particular vendor or customer, it is it is also permanent unless there are some changes like payment terms. So you are dealing with this particular customer or vendor, so you want to change the payment terms from 30 days to 45 days or 45 days to 30 days, and those kind of things remain same. The customer address, vendor address, and their bank details, and those kind of things will remain same in most of the cases. Of course, that is also subject to change, but very rarely. The next one is transaction and document. So we need After we create the organization structure and master data, we are going to create a transaction that will ultimately create a document in SAP system. So after completion of this, you are going to see the report, how and what are the balances in that particular report. For example, I want to see the outstanding balance of a vendor, right? So I can see going to a particular report in SAP. So basically, if we understand these elements, so you are done. So this is whether you are using SAP or any software, this is common, right? All these elements you are going to see. Okay. Yeah, fine. So this is the SAP screen. So we are going to see this in detail when I open the SAP system instead of this. So when coming to the methodology, like explaining the concept of each topic and the step-by-step configuration we are going to see, and then posting the transactions, viewing the relevant reports, and question and answers on the topic. All these things we are going to cover for each topic. Training documents provided, we are going to give a configuration document where step-by-step procedure is defined or given, and the transaction posting, step-by-step report generation, everything will be given as a document. Word document I am going to show you. That document will you can refer, and also this the recording whatever we do, you can refer this step-by-step configuration guide, and also this recording. Both will help you to do practice on your own. And also, of course, interview question and answers. I will provide some documents if you are interested. And also the practical tips and tricks, wherever each topic when we are discussing, if I get any information on like how we are actually doing in our company or in our previous company, that kind of implementation or production support tips and tricks will be provided. This is SAP methodology we call, that is accelerated SAP roadmap. Normally in every project implementation, these are the 5 steps or 5 phases we will have, where the project preparation is nothing but your planning activity can be taken here, and then business blueprint, where we study the business requirements, we gather the requirements and we document it. It is called the business blueprint, and which will be signed off by your SAP implementation team as well as your business. After a sign off, you are going to configure those settings in the SAP system in this phase called realization, and then you will test it, and then in the final preparation you are going to test again. This is called unit testing, and in this phase also again you will test it, that is called, the users will test it, that is called user acceptance test. And also in the final preparation phase we are getting ready for the go live, that is how to upload the balances, legacy balances into SAP system, what are the master data required to be uploaded into the SAP system, etc. All this preparation will be done in the final preparation phase. Then it will go live. After go live, it will continue. If any changes or any issues, it will be called as support, go live support, or post production or production support. It will continue forever. So these are the various phases in implementation. And support also will be a ticketing process. Each issue we call it as ticket, and business users, they raise these tickets, and that will be assigned to the resource who is identified as a FI consultant or various modules. And this consultant has to do the analysis and what is the requirement, and he has to fix that issue in the support process. So anyway, we are going to discuss this. So this is about the introduction. So you have any more questions, Emani? Yes. So this is all mostly already, right? Before, that is the reason I quickly covered, and then we are going to see the SAP system. So this is how SAP system look like, and I will just log in. So this is called SAP logon pad. You are still able to see my screen, right? So this is called SAP logon pad, where you will see various clients servers. So we are currently interested in this demo system called SAP IDES. SAP IDES system stands for, IDES means it is International Demonstration and Evaluation System or Education System. So normally this system is used, this is a pre-configured system which is used to give the demos to the business clients or for the training purposes. These are the two things this system is used by SAP. So within this, SAP has given various scenarios, various objects created for just to readily see purpose or to understand what are the functionalities available in the system, so that they will take a call on whether they want to go for this software or they can implement, or they don't want to implement, kind of decision they can take. And also like us, whenever people want to learn the SAP software, they can use this system. These are the two purposes why they have given this system called IDES. So here we can see, as soon as you select the client, so by default it has come as 800. So this is called client. Client is nothing but a technical organizational unit, or it is a technical system where it has its own independent data tables or database tables, and its own programs have the total tables and programs. So you can change the you are not going to change the tables and programs, but they are required to, for example, you are going to create a company code, so that will go and save in the database table in the background. So for that purpose, all the technical details or technical requirements required for the system are copied into this client. That is the meaning of this client. So each user will be provided with a username and password. So this is simply like, for example, if you have a email ID and password, so this is in the same way we use for the security purpose, so that whenever you do any change in the system, it will track this object is done by so and so user. So it will track each and everything with the username, date, time, everything. So if you post a document, that is also tracked with time, date, username, everything. So in SAP, each and everything can be tracked. So that is it is a highly secured system. So without your user ID and password, you cannot enter into the system. And also, if you repeatedly give 3 times wrong password, it will lock. The administrator has to reset the password. These are all the general rules, even for any other software, or even for our normal email functionality or any other systems. It is common, right? So if you repeatedly give 3 times wrong password, it will lock. Your password will ask for the reset of the password. So administrator can give the new password. So the next thing is, as we discussed, it supports multiple languages. Here in the language, for example, if I enter DE, which is a German language, And for example, if I press enter, it will go to Magna Venkat. So I think I have given a wrong password. That is the reason it is saying something. So now it is you can see everything in English. So what I want to show you is, whenever you want to, a particular user want to log in into a different language, for example, it will show everything in that particular language. D is for example is a German language. So if I select D, so system will display all the information in German language, so which we cannot understand, but just to understand the functionality in the system. You can see some information here and say OK. You can go to SAP system. You can see there is some information like this, which is everything is showing in German language. So a German user can enter into German language, into the system in German language, so that it makes their so we cannot expect each and every user in the world should understand English, right? So that is why SAP has given the system in 40 languages. So based on the requirement, user enters into that particular language. So one more important thing is, so I just want to come out of this system. So you can even see a warning whether you want to log out of the system, etc. It might be yes or no, right? So if I say yes, it will go to it is logged off. So I want to enter into once again with English language. Even though if you want to enter into the system with English language, you need not specifically mention whether you want to English. So by default, system takes English if you don't give anything here, or otherwise you can just give EN, or even it is blank, it will take the English language as default if it is blank. So now you can see it is in English. I think they will provide you this password and user ID for you also for your for your practice purpose. So as soon as you enter into the system, this is the screen we see. So this is called SAP Easy Access. Normally this screen is used by the users, end users we can say, or business users, for their day-to-day operations. So if you see, for example, there are various modules like these are functions or applications, we can call it as. Accounting, you ignore this office and cross applications collaboration. From logistics onwards, you can see and understand what are the various modules available. Under logistics, you can see there are many modules like materials, sales, logistic execution, production, plant, customer, quality, etc., etc. All these are grouped under logistics because it deals from right from the procurement of raw materials to production and till it supplies to your customer. And then you have accounting, and under accounting you have financial accounting, financial supply chain management, and controlling, enterprise controlling, etc. But we are interested only in financial accounting and controlling. And then you can see there is something called HR, human resources. So broadly they divided all the function modules or functional modules into three things. One is logistics, accounting, and human resources. Logistics, you have many modules which are related to procurement, sales, production, etc. And this is your financial accounting and controlling. This is HR module. So we are interested in accounting module. Within accounting you have financial accounting, and within financial accounting you have something called GL, account receivable, accounts payable, contract accounts. We are not interested. We are not going to discuss this. And banks, fixed assets, various other things. And under controlling you have cost element, cost center, and internal order, activity based costing, product costing, profitability analysis, and profit representation. All these modules are covered here. So if you go further and open, if you just click on this triangle, it will open further if there are options within that folder. So if you go to general ledger and posting, you can see enter GL account documents. This is the place where you can enter your financial document. For example, I spent some expenses and I want to record that. I can use this GL account document and post it. So this job is done by end users, not the FI consultant, right? So this screen, SAP Easy Access, is normally used by the end users. So the SAP consultant also uses this screen for their testing purpose. Once we do the configuration or settings, whether those are working properly or not, to test that you can use this screen, but it is not our main job. So this is how you can understand this easy access is for your users, end users. So okay. What I think I have stopped. Okay. So here you can see what is the client and who is the user currently using the system, and language, and then your time, date, and then your what is the version of the system. This is the latest version called ECC 6.0 or 6.0, and then you have installation number and other licensing information details, and what is the database it is using, and what is the operating system, various other things, and current transaction, what is the screen it is showing currently. All these details are called are available under your systems and status. System status, if you want to see what is the version this particular system is using and other technical details, etc., you can go to systems and status. And also you can see this is called status bar, where normally you will get some messages here, or status is that is the reason we call it as status bar. Earlier you might have observed that your password is wrong, or some information, etc., or your document is saved, or your setting is saved, or those kind of things you will find normally in the bottom line. And here it is called, in the status bar itself, you have a lot of information available. Once you click on this icon, what is the system number, name, and what is the client, who is the user, and what is the program currently used, what is the transaction currently used, and what is the response time, etc., etc. So if it is set to your transaction, normally your transaction name, or what, for example, we are using the transaction called FB50, it will show you FB50 here. So that is how you can see from here what is the transaction code you are using currently. And then you have something called, I think we have covered everything. And then another important thing is user profile. Under system you have user profile, and go to own data, you will see the user related information. So username last changed on so and so date, or when it is created or changed, these kind of details. The last name, first name you want to change for your user, you can just change it here. Your user information and your language, default language, etc. Telephone number, mobile number, etc. You can just maintain here, and all this information is relating to your users so. Then there is something called defaults, which is important one. So here you can set your decimal notation or date format. So it depends on your country. The formats will be different, right? So in the decimal notation, whether you want to the separation between thousands, whether you want dot or comma or whatever you like, you can just change it to the format you like. And then the date format, whether you want date and month, year, or month, date, year, etc. Normally in US, in India, sorry, it is date, month, year. Whatever you want, you can change it according to your requirement. So every time the system will, you can give the date, month, etc. in the same format. So that is how you can change your user settings here. Parameters not required. So these defaults are important. Logon language, by default it will take if you give English here. Or even though if it is English, it is not maintained. If it is some different language, you have to maintain the default so that you need not give the language every time. So after changing these things, and also your time zone, you can just maintain here. Change it. Save it. So user was saved. So all these details are. So this is important. This is why it is called as status bar. Whenever you do or perform certain activity, say is there any error or warning information or successful, it is successful. That information you will get here. Status bar. So these are the various options available in SAP. So going forward, we are going to more options. So basically, this is called menu and toolbar, and application toolbar is menu path, and this is called status bar. And now I want to show you customizing as we discussed earlier. This is the screen basically for the users, and we are going to see the IMG screen where we normally do the configuration. And the transaction code for that go to that screen is called SPRO. And if you select this or give the transaction code SPRO, it will take you to a new screen where execute project customizing, and then you select this SAP reference IMG. So it will show you another screen. It is different than your easy access screen. It is initially displayed. So display IMG. IMG stands for implementation guide, where you can do the customization and configuration as required or as required by your client. So here the screen is again different, right? So earlier it is showing only the transactions and transaction codes, and here it is different. Here also all the modules are available, but the transactions are different. You can see But here there is no technical name displayed against each function. It is different than that screen. Okay. So I will call you once again. So what we are going to do is I will show you what are the various options available in this screen. So first thing is, if you want to, normally this is not required, but if we want to do any configuration which is at a country, creation of new country, or you can see there is define countries in SAP system. Normally all the countries are available. We need not do any configuration in this area. Insert regions. Regions are nothing but, for example, in US there are various states, right? So these states are created as regions. So normally these are all created for all the countries. For example, I will show you the existing countries available. So here there will be a code for each country and its description. Similarly, if you want to see US, so it is available as US and the name is United States. So within that you can see various other details like the nationality, language and the currency and its tax procedure, ISO code and its date format and decimal format, etc. So normally if by chance a particular country is not available, so you can even create your own new country, but only thing is you have to follow this ISO. It will be consistent across the with other countries. So if you create your own naming convention, it will create confusion, and there is a possibility that there will be a duplicate name exist. So what happens here is, I will show you an example where there is a country called B, not B, it should be so maybe in this example what I am trying to say is, if you don't follow the ISO standards, there is a possibility that for a single country you may have to, if that country is already existing, there is a possibility that you will create a duplicate entry that will create a lot of confusion, between among your users. So to avoid that, SAP suggested that you should give this naming convention or the country name whatever given in the ISO standards. For each country, they will give what is the name and other details. For example, I will open one more country, India. So for India also, you can see the currency and nationality and ISO code name. So you have to follow these ISO codes, whatever given in the ISO standards, so that what happens, it will not create any confusion, or there is no duplicate entry created by mistake also. So these ISO codes are available, when if you go to Google and search for ISO codes for you can find these details. Normally we don't create because SAP has given almost all the countries normally we use. So there are 236 countries already existing in this table. You can see the total number here. So there are 236 countries which are available in this list. So normally there is no requirement to create a new country. By chance or by if request, you can do that. You can just go to new entries button here. You can give all the names, all the details here. You can just save it. But I am not giving. I am not creating any entry here because we don't require it. So this is about your general settings, and other things we'll see whenever it is required. So after this, I want to go to enterprise structure. So under enterprise structure, you can go to definition and financial accounting and define company, define controlling area, define or edit, copy, delete company code, define business area, functional area, etc. These are the enterprise structure or organizational structure which we are going to create. So you can create these organization structures. So for this, from here onwards, I am going to show you the document which I am going to give you. So I will give this document so that you can even try after our discussion. So in this document, we have given the organization structure and other settings needs to be created. So first, let us see what is company. In the normal parlance or normal usage, we call company, but in SAP there is a difference between company and in our normal language. Company is something under which there will be multiple company codes. The company code is the one which is a legal entity for which we need to submit various financial reports to the external agencies or statutory regulations or regulatory authorities. So this is the company code which is a legal entity. Under company you will have multiple company codes. So this company is basically used for the consolidation purpose. So if you have 10 company codes or 10 legal entities, so for those 10 legal entities, if you want to consolidate the accounts or financial figures, you can use this company. So let us try to create. So to go to this or execute this transaction, you have to click on this clock symbol, or there is something called IMG documentation. If you click on this document, what happens? It will show you a document which explains what is this particular organizational unit is all about and the details, etc. If you want to see the document details, or go to document IMG activity, and it will explain this functionality. And if you click on this clock symbol, what happens? It will show you the screen where you can see the existing entries. There are 155 entries currently, and if you want to create a new entry or new organizational unit, you can go to new entries. So you can click on this so that you can create a company. So as we discussed, company is used for the consolidation of various company codes. Company code is the one which is the legal entity incorporated under statutory law of that particular country, where it is mandatory to submit your financial statements for that particular legal entity. But this company is not a legal entity. So this company is to just consolidate all the company codes we are using. So here against company you can give any number or name. So for example, I am going to give 1009. So you can give any number or name, but normally we follow the numeric number. And give the description. For example, I am going to give Samsung or Samsung Electronics Incorporation, for example. This is what the name I have given for this company, and I am going to give the street name or for example A, B, C, D street. Post box number, these are all optional, but only city, for example New York or Chicago, whatever you can. Country US, and language English, and currency USD. One important thing to observe here is, so for these fields, when I select these fields, next to this particular field there is a circle coming, right? So if you have this circle next to your field, that means there are certain entries within this field. That means possible entries or drop down box where the entries are available. Entries. For example, I want to select US country, so I can select from here, or I can directly type it here. But system validates, instead of US, for example, I have given USA by mistake, so it will not accept. It is saying that entry USA does not exist in table so and so. That means whatever the entries available here, that only you can give, but that validation is not available for your street, PO box and postal box, city. That validation is not available. That means these possible entries or drop down box is coming, means these entries are maintained in a separate place. Just now we have seen where we have created or where we found these countries, right? So these countries are created in that particular place, and those entries are coming or displayed here, from which you can select the entry whatever you want. Whenever this circle is coming, that means there are possible entries available in the system. Then it will validate. By mistake you give some different value, it will not accept. So if there is no validation or no drop down box or no possible entries, you can type here. If you type anything, it will accept because there is no validation for city. And similarly street or post box, etc. That validation is not there, it will accept any value, right? So after entering this information, you can save it. So you can have this save option here. So as soon as you select save button, what happens? This pop-up comes. There is a small box coming. So where you need to give the transport number. So this transport, we already discussed that this transport request number is used to move from one client to other client. As we discussed in SAP landscape, there are 3 clients like development, quality and production. So currently we are in development system, and so whenever you create anything, like we created company here, so it will come like this. So these 2 fields are blank. Then you have to click on create new request or create request. This notepad icon or document icon. Just you click on this create request. Then what happens? It will ask for the description. For example, I will give the description of as Samsung enterprise structure. This is the description I want to give. Enterprise structure. So then after giving this information, I will just save it. There is a save button here. You can save. So other details the system automatically taking. Who is the owner and what is the date and what is the client. All these details system is automatically getting these details. And that request number is blank. That means system will give a number. So as soon as I save, it expect only description save it. Say as soon as you save after giving the description, it is giving some number here. So this number is nothing but this is your system name CUS and K normally transport number is K followed by some number. So that means whatever you have done or whatever you have saved under this company information called Samsung Electronics, that is saved with this number. So with this number, system will track what are the changes it is you have done in this save or in this activity, and who has done it and when it is done. All these details are saved with this tag. That is called the transport request number. So after giving this description, you can say OK. So it is saying data saved. So that transport request is mandatory whenever you save or whenever you create something. So that means this details, whatever you saved or whatever you have created, that is saved with a tag number or a number. So you can track. So after saving this, if I want to go back and see whatever the changes I have done, so again, so you can go back and you can select on position button. Here, this position is nothing but it is a kind of find button. So if you give your number, whatever you have created, it will show you again 1009, which is Samsung Electronics, and if you double click on it, it will show you the details saved. So basically, whenever you enter into this screen, it will show you the existing details or already available details or available entries. It will show once you saved, it is available in this list. Or otherwise, if you want to create a new one, you can go to New Entries button and give the details. So this is how you can create a configuration or you can create any organizational structure. So after doing this, if I want to see the transport request which is saved, I can go back to Easy Access screen just by clicking on back arrow. So under customizing, you can see there is something called SC10 transaction. Fine. So this is transport organizer. The transaction code is SC10. Just you click on this. Double click your user number. So one, you are able to see my screen? Yeah, okay, fine. So this is a place where you can see all the transport request numbers. So the user ID has come by default, otherwise you can give your username and then you can go to display. So here you can see the transport number whatever saved here, and if you okay 1 second. Okay, so you just open this organizer transport number, so that what happens, it will show you what are the activities. You can see the same thing like IMG activity define company. So this is what you have done under this transport request number. And if you further expand it and further expand, so it is giving you the table number where this activity is saved. So you can see this is ultimately the table number, and I think the table number is enough. The other number is not required. So this is in the background. System will save all the entries or all the settings, whatever we do, it will save in a database table. So that table name or number we can see here. So this is how the system will track each and every change we do. Fine, Emani? So if you want to release this, once everything, and if you want to release this to your quality system, as we discussed, just you have to select this, request number, and you have to click on this truck icon, release directly. So that means it will be released to the quality system, and where we do the testing. Because it is a testing system, we don't have that landscape or three systems integrated. So it will, even though if you click on this release, it will not go anywhere, because that landscape should be set up by the system. Then only it will release to quality system. And just to understand, I am explaining this. So here you can see this is the name I have mentioned, or I have given in the system and user profile and own data. I have maintained my name. That is the reason it is showing my name here. Earlier it was not there. You can see Venkat. So this is how we can see the transport. And then we'll go to the MG screen once again and click on SAP reference and enterprise structure definition and financial accounting, and this is where we have created the company. Then we can create define credit control area. This credit control area is nothing but the area under which the credit limits of your customers will be monitored and maintained. So normally all these activities done by the SD module or SD consultant, just we create the name and the description for your credit control area. Just we have to give the credit control area number and currency, and other things will be maintained by the sales module people, because the customer data or customer details are maintained by sales people. So just I am giving one number for credit control area and currency. Just press save. And this time it is asking again for the number, and you need not give the description again, so you can just say continue. It will save in the same number. Until you release the transport, you can save in the same number. So it will go and save in the same number. So a new task will be created for the user. You can say OK. So it is saved, and go back. So here you can give the description called credit control area. This credit control area is basically to monitor what is the credit limit given to each customer. Just I am giving the description as Samsung account or Samsung. This fine, because the limit the lines available is limited to certain characteristics, like approximately 25 to 30 characters are allowed. So after giving a description, I am saying it. So just I have given the name and description or any other details, because it will be maintained by the sales team or sales company. And then the important thing here is create the company code. This is the legal entity under which your books of accounts or financial statements will be prepared. So here it is not, you can observe that there is, it is not given as defined. It is edit, copy, delete, set company code, because there are various options available. under this company code. So copy, delete, check company code is used normally to copy from the existing company code. For example, within Samsung Electronics, you want to copy a new company code with the same settings, you can use the first option. And the second option is used to create the company code from the scratch. Let us see the second option and how to create the company code. So here also there are existing entries 186. If you want to create the new company code, you can go to new entry. Here also you have to give company code number. This, for example, giving this 107, and here also you can give Samsung Electronics. And you can give the city, country, and currency, language. So these are the details required for company code also. And also after giving this information, you have to give the detailed address and communication details. You can click on this address icon. It will give you the further screen where you can give the detailed description and the detailed communication details, postal box. What I am doing is I am going to give all the details. So if one line is not enough, even you can give the second line also the same details. Next term you can simply give Samsung. So this will be useful to easily search from various company codes. So this search term is useful. And the street, house number, can give like so these are all optional. If I find a checkbox within this field, that means it is mandatory. Without that, system will not allow you to save it. So if whenever you see this tick mark within this field, that means it is mandatory. Postal code, city, normally when you register your company, this will be this name is mentioned in the certificate of incorporation, right? So same name we normally give it here, and the country is US. And if you want to give the telephone number, mobile number, etc., you can give it here. After giving these details, there is something called preview. How it exactly show you when you print a document, some document like payment advice, purchase order, these kind of things. It will print the company name and address like this. So you can see this preview, and then you can say continue, and you can save it. So it will also, if you say continue, it will save in the same request number. So this is how. Okay. So you are comfortable so far, right?